And Debbie Hines is back with us, trial lawyer, former prosecutor, legal political commentator over at LegalSpeaks.com. Debbie, welcome back.
Well, thank you, Tom. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you just fine.
Great.
So, knock, knock.
Who's there? Wasn't that incredibly bad joke today?
Oh, that was, I heard so much about it. I finally, had to look up the video and just watch this. Well, tell our listeners about what happened in the court. This is the Trayvon Martin, the trial of George Zimmer for the murder of Trayvon Martin.
Right. So the defense started off, as I thought they should, with their opening when they said this is a sad case for everyone, for both sides, which is true. And so after going into how sad the case is, he then proceeds to go into a joke. He says, I want to tell you a joke. I know you shouldn't tell jokes. And I'm saying, I don't think you should either. And he goes into knock, knock. Who's there? George Zimmerman. And I can't repeat the rest of it because I didn't even get the joke.
Oh, here's the joke. What he was doing is he was making a joke about how uninformed and therefore implicitly either dumb or not uninterested in news one had to be a juror on the Trayvon Martin case. Because he said, knock, knock, who's there? George Zimmerman. George Zimmerman who? You're eligible for the jury.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's what he said. He said, but I'm a person, and that's why I said, oh, my God, you never give jokes in any kind of openings or closing because everyone's humor is different, and I didn't get the joke, and I was online with other people, and they didn't get it either.
Yeah, and I don't think the jurors got it either, and if they did get it, I think they would have been insulted by it.
They would have been, it's offensive. It was offensive.
Yeah. So
and you people are really dumb to be on this jury.
Yeah, that's essentially what he was saying, and I don't think that you win points that way. I mean, what this is supposed to be like, a high-powered defense attorney?
I questioned that after I heard his opening. I mean, it was just incredibly, he got one good point in, and it was excellent, but he spoke for well over 2 hours. I mean, they had to take a break in the middle, which you also never want to have happen in the middle of your opening statement. You generally just want to go with it until you can finish, and it was just incredibly long, it was tedious, it was painstakingly tedious, and it was boring. But I'm not, and he was very old school. Because, we're using PowerPoint presentations now, and he was basically using, the old chalkboard.
Yeah. Wow. So the conventional wisdom about this, Debbie, is that the prosecutor, by starting out with a couple of obscenities and then, which were shocking. In fact, MSNBC carried them live on television, and then Chuck Todd had to break in and say, sorry about that. We're putting a 7-second delay in.
Everyone did.
Yeah. But they were the words that George Zimmerman had said into the phone as he was chasing Trayvon Martin. And, very derogatory comments apparently about what he thought of young black men.
Right, and it shows that it diffuses everything that the Zimmerman side wants to get in about how nice George really is, and he really is kind and compassionate to people, and he wasn't kind and compassionate when he first made the call to 911. Those were the first words he said, when he made the call. Yeah. And I just thought it was a great, great way for the prosecution to start. I mean, it really got their sensitivities up, but it really showed, what they had to show about George Zimmerman on that night. And that's all that matters is what he was on that night. Right, because that was the night that it all happened. I mean, he might be a really sweet guy now, but it doesn't matter. He's the nicest person in the world, but on that night, they have to show that he murdered with malice, Trayvon Martin. Yeah. And did so, exactly, with malice for the worst of reasons. Mind, which is, they've got to show some evilness there, for lack of a better word. I mean, they just can't show it was a mistake, it was an accident. That just doesn't fly. Right. What's your, I didn't watch the whole opening statements by either side. I just saw the Cliff Notes. Basically, I saw the knock-knock joke, and I saw the obscenities. Yeah, you were lucky you missed the one on the defense side. Yeah. Well, I'm wondering, did he construct, I mean, it seems like what it's going to come down to is if people believe that Trayvon attacked George Zimmerman and George Zimmerman was, laying on the ground and had to shoot Trayvon Martin, or whether it was the other way around. And it's that was the point. Out of two, he could have condensed his whole 2.5-hour opening down to a very short thing, because the point that he got across that was very effective for the jurors is almost at the end of it. He said that Tracy Martin, who is Trayvon's dad, when he heard the 911 call in the background with the screams in the background of the call, he said that was not his son's voice. And that was, that was powerful.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what it basically boils down to: who's screaming, who is attacking who.
Right. So if the scenario that the jurors buy is that, is the defense characterizing Trayvon as a guy who maliciously was attacking George, or who had been attacked by George Zimmerman? Or George Zimmerman had gotten way too close, and Trayvon felt threatened, and therefore he lashed out at them. Therefore he attacked him, which provoked George to shoot in self-defense. Is that
right? He wasn't the way he constructed the way West constructed his opening statement. He didn't really lay it out exactly like that. I mean, he basically is trying to construct it on a very technical, methodical basis, based on what the 911 calls show that were from the neighbors. And so he's trying to present a timeline on what each neighbor that called 911 as to what they saw at what particular time, and then trying to bring in some technical expert evidence to bolster what they've said. So a lot of things came out in the media, but it's not quite, before the trial, it's not quite clear which way they're going to go, because they have a tough road, because, George Zimmerman gave some interviews, and he also gave some statements to the police before he lawyered up, and there are inconsistencies. Yeah. So it's really not quite clear if it's which one he's going with, is what I'm trying to say.
So really, even though the defense laid out their opening statement, you are not sure what the defense is going to be?
No, I'm sure that the defense is going to be that which they've already have said, which is what he said in opening, that when that night Trayvon Martin was bashing George Zimmerman's head in the ground on a slab of cement, and he did say, and on that night, that cement was a deadly weapon. And he was in fear of his life, and that's how he ended up shooting him. And that Trayvon Martin was straddling over him, leg over body, right, and beating his head up against the cement. His head that he got superficial abrasions to.
And therefore, under the stand your ground law, George Zimmerman was justified, or therefore under any criminal law he was justified?
Well, under stand your ground, they had problems with stand your ground, Tom. And then the reason is because even a couple of the former senators that authored the stand your ground law in 2005, they went on record a year ago saying that stand your ground doesn't apply when you're the one who's provoking the incident. It doesn't mean that you have to be the one that started the fight, but you're the one that's following. You're the one that's putting everything in motion. Right. And so technically, and the judge will instruct them at the conclusion of the trial, but technically stand your ground really shouldn't apply when you're the one in pursuit. It's not meant to be for you in pursuit. It's meant to be if I'm attacked right now and I feel that I'm in great fear of dying, or I'm in great risk of having imminent risk of body harm, I can use deadly force. I don't have to try to back off and retreat.
Right.
So I think that's why the whole concept is going around the pursuit, that he was asked to wait, not to follow.
Okay. I'm sorry, Debbie, but we got to wrap it up. Thank you so much for being with us. Hang on just a second.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
Debbie Hines, trial lawyer, former prosecutor, legal political commentator, LegalSpeaks.com. Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you, Tom.
Okay. Talk to you soon.
Sure. Bye-bye.